The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode 5, titled Secure and Survive. And this episode, I feel like I'm a broken record with this show. This show is just brilliant. It is fucking fantastic. It's just amazing. You know, Episode 4 was the weakest episode, but it still was great. It was a great episode with world building and setting the groundwork. And I get it, if you're there for the zombies, if you think about it, we ain't got, like, you know, there was a couple, like, a couple of clickers in episode 3. But I get it, you know, we only have, out of the 5 episodes, 2 scenes, you know, 2 episodes where it's fully clickers, fully affected. But I have to say, guys, like, I get it, maybe you're not a gamer, you know, all you heard was, Last of Us is set in a zombie apocalypse. It's not about that. It's about humanity. It's about love comes all in every definition and every single twist and wording and every, you know, anything, you know, in the worst possible ways and the best possible ways and light under the tunnel and you know, it gets bleak in time, but sometimes there's some light, and as you know, episode 3 was with Bill and Frank, and that's what it's about. And also with the monsters, you know, there's 2 type of monsters. You know, you got the clickers and the bloaters and the runners and I keep forgetting the half clicker ones. But you also have humans, because the difference between clickers and humans is humans have something that they're fighting for, something that they're holding on to. Clickers don't. And what happens when that pain is taking, that element that's making you whole is no longer there? And that's what's happening with Christina, who is, you could easily see Christina, if there wasn't a apocalypse, she would be easily like the lovely mother or the lovely neighbor in the neighborhood, right? But because of the situation, she is a leader. She's a leader of the resistance in Kansas City. And she had a brother, and the brother got taken away from her. And she's at this point in her life. She's even said that, like, hey, my brother said, forgive them. Forgive everyone that has done me wrong. But she's like, fuck you, I don't care. It's basically, if you take this away from me, I'm going to take that thing away from you. And you can feel the pain, the suffering, and just a sense of every reason, every understandable saying, every wording that's possibly there could literally be, has a response, and a very blatant response, a very blinded and blunt response of, leave the kids go. Actually, Henry, sorry, we have to kill Sam as well because you killed my brother, but he's gonna die. Yeah, all kids die, and a very blunt and very brutal facts to the point of she doesn't care. She wants revenge, and she's gonna get it no matter what. She's John Wicking this, and just like you feel that pain, and that's what The Last of Us basically is. Yeah, it's what does pain do to people in the worst possible ways. And I think part 2, when season 2 comes around, and they of course naturally adapt the second game. If it's 1 season, 2 seasons, because Craig Mason, who's one of the showrunners, mentioned part 2 is a big story. It's a massive, bigger story. It might take more than a season to tell that story. So, but that's what The Last of Us is, and it explores more in this episode with me, Henry, and Sam, because you see this parallel between the two of them with Joe and Ellie. You have the father figure in Henry, and the child, even though they're brothers, but with the child, the adult taking care of the kid, And that's basically what's happened with Joel and Ellie. Joel's taking care of Ellie. Now we know the reasons why, but that is the journey of through this episode, and showing what it might lead to, what it might. And I mean, here's the thing: me, who has played the game a number of times, part 2 I'm a little bit more fuzzy on, just because I have only played part 2 once, so it's part 2. Such a great story. Yeah, sorry, it's such a great story. But they killed Joel. Fuck off. It was the best possible journey for that character. I fucking said it, okay? Spoiler for season 2, Joel dies. Anyway, I'm not gonna tell you how, but Joel dies. But with me knowing the possible fate of Sam and Henry, I was like, come on, Druckmann. Come on, Mason. Like, you changed the fate of Bill and Frank from the game, from the original source material. Could they just go to Jacksonville? Could they just tag along with Joe and Ellie? Can they? Because I don't really want to feel that emotion again. And every time that scene comes up in the game, it takes a while for me to be like, I have to have a couple minutes of silence of what I saw. No, we're doing that fate, and it is fucking. I will say this: this show is better than the game. I know that is a fucking blasphemous thing to say. The adaptation is better than the game itself, because when you have, spoiler for the episode, when you have this scene between Sam and Ellie, and I love how they make Sam death. I love it because it bonds the relationship between Henry and Sam even more. This language that that only they know, they understand each other. They have their code. They have naturally, Sam has to use sign language, or uses a notepad to people knowing what he wants, what he says, and all that kind of stuff. And I love also Henry wants him to be a kid in this. He wants, Henry wants Sam to be a kid. With scenes of him, coloring, here's a big bag of crayons, start drawing, on the walls. Here's some paint. Here's like a little superhero mask. So we have Super Sam. Here's a bowl. Go play soccer with Ellie. Ellie and go read a comic with Ellie. Let her read it for you. Once again, spoiler, but I'm going to talk about something that's very parallel in the show and in the game. The fate of Henry and Sam. Of Sam is bitten. From, yes, there's this cool giant action sequence, and it's great and awesome, but the moment I saw the two of them struggling with these clickers on their leg, and both of them are trying to kick the clickers off of them under this car, I was like, oh no. It's starting. They're going to have the same fate. And the whole thing of Sam is bitten. Sam gets turned into a Wonder. The first phase of infection. He attacks Ellie. Henry shoots Sam, and now, unsafe so, freaking out that he's just shot his brother, unable to process it. Unable to process it, he kills himself. When that happened, and it's weird to say a suicide in a TV show is better than the other suicide in the game, but the lead up to that scene in this show is more impactful, because you have the scene between Ellie and Sam, and you just you can tell it is a nice way to do the whole thing of like, what happened, because in the game Sam never told anyone that he got bitten, he got scratched. So and it's like a good way to be like, what happened if he did tell at least one person? What if he at least told Ellie? that he got bitten. And the moment you just feel heartbreak, you could tell that this is a kid. Like the moment he's, at least reading the comic, you could tell there's a sense of sadness, a sense of a kid who's afraid by just his face alone, but not showing much emotion at all, and worry about, are you still the person when you're a monster, but do you know that you are doing the things? How much of the fungus is taking over, and Ellie wants to be the hero that Sam thinks she is, and for me it's more heartbreaking because I know the fate. It's a weird thing. Like, it is a question of, does spoilers even matter? Because I knew that Sarah was going to die in episode 1. Because I played the game. I knew that the Titanic sinks kind of, type of situation. But I knew that Sarah was going to die, and I fucking cried I weeped. So it's so impactful. And same thing with Harry and Sam. I was shocked. I was, needed to take a breather. I paused. I knew that the timer said only 4 minutes left of the episode, but I needed another I just needed to process it. And yes, there's bloaters. This is the episode that introduced the bloaters. Yeah, they're cool, and the giant action sequence, nearly, at the third act is cool. It is a really neat, cool action sequence, but it's when that moment happened, I just was wondering, what's this? 4 out of the 5 episodes, people are going to be like, fuck this show. It's going to be a lot of cry time that's going to happen with this show, and that's the case. But if you're curious about stages of the affected, the bloaters will be is the final stage of the big giant hulky full fungus guy. That's the final stage of infection. You don't go as bigger as a bloater. At all.